Hey guys, this is Chase Knight, um, playing Twilight Struggle in the Reddit World Cup Championship. This is round robin play. This is actually my first game in it against Ibara. He's also username JessupY on Reddit. But once again, we bid for sides. He's going to get US +1, doing a standard setup, for East Germany, for Poland, one in Yugoslavia. And we've got a decent opening hand. We got Nuclear Test Man, um, Japan, so we've got some ops to definitely deal with. We have defectors, so we can play Vietnam without having to worry about that getting defectored because we have it. We can also lead with socialist governments and then coup attempt Italy, uh, which is a great play, very popular play. I prefer trying to win the Iran coup battle, just because a lot of times it it gives you a chance um, to hold two regions, the Mid East and Asia. We had a card like De Gaulle, maybe we can keep that the next round. Just give us some opportunities there. So, see what he headlines. So containment. So he's giving himself some extra ops. Um, so we'll see. So, like we said, we're going after Iran. We roll a 3, a 4, 5, or 6. We would take in control of it, but you know. So he's definitely going to go back, and he's got the +1. So you can do a 3-op card. It's going to be a 4-op card. Um, so let's see what he does here. Sorry, I decided to eat a cookie. My bad. All right, so he plays Fidel, so goes ahead and he's kind of into Vietnam, and he rolls a 6. Wow, so he rolls it big. Well, we do have a modifier there, so we're gonna gamble. We're gonna play duck and cover. We're gonna recoup back, and we roll a 6. Huge. So two things there. We're able to drop the DEFCON after doing the non-battle, so he can't recoup us back into the Vietnam battle. The bad news is he's going to coup Iran, and we don't get that last coup opportunity to try to take it at the very end. So, depending on what he rolls here, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe he'll roll a 1. All right. So he plays Comic Con, which helps. Lets us throw some extra influence. He just barely got it, which is nice. So later, if we have a chance to recoup in the next turn, it's not overprotected at a 4, so we have a chance to flip it at some point. Mm, it's also there. Try to use our Vietnam to maximize that card. So turn defectors into a 3-point card. Let's have a 2-point. Kind of go ahead and see if we can explode the Southeast Asia. Um, the other play that might have been a nice play was go ahead and play U.S. Japan. Give them Japan, but go ahead and take South Korea. But we were trying to get a little bit of tempo for for Southeast Asia to be able to get to India. Um, we'll see how he plays it. Does he gamble with South Korea? Don't know where the Korea card is. All right, let's see. And then he'll slam both the two ops into South Korea, and he'll take it. So we definitely should have taken South Korea when we could with the U.S. Japan card. Play that one a little too quick, maybe. At least, well, assuming he is. But we've got still got some ops here. Still would like to hold the Gall, I think, for next round to be able to kind of have that opportunity to get into um, France. Um, East European unrest. We'd like to be able to space it, go ahead and get ahead in the space race. See if we can be the first one to those victory points. Is always kind of can be a big thing in this game. So went ahead and played 2 in Iraq to be able to get a country there, solidify it. That way, if he does have Middle East scoring right here, he's scoring it for even. Or if he pushes somewhere else, it's not going to be the end of the world versus if we didn't have any presence there. Plus, we threw 1 into Burma, so now our next play, we can go into India, and we still have to worry about the Indo-Pakistan card because it's not out. We don't know where it's at, but we can play it, kind of however we see fit, so to speak. Okay, so it goes into Afghanistan, which is nice, and into Pakistan. So now he can go into India with his next play. Still trying to keep the Gall in our hand. We can afford to lose the 1 influences across the board right now in East Europe, so we're going to do that. We're going to take India. Now, if he has the Indo-Pakistan war card and he wins, for our next play, we take Pakistan. So there's we're a little worried, but we can't be too worried. You can't not take a country, because you're being deathly afraid of the war card. You're gonna lose the war card sometimes. When they only thing they can roll is a 6, and sometimes when you got it 50-50 or the best possible roll, you're gonna roll 1. I mean, that's just a little bit of the luck of it. But right now, if he's got the Indo-Pakistan card and he plays it, we go right to Pakistan. So he plays Truman. He's got 2 ops, so he throws them both in Pakistan, so we just can't overrun it with the China card. So still want to keep. So here's our catch-22 here. We can play the Gall and keep Japan from, just in case he's got the Asia scoring card. But I really want to still keep that to be able to hopefully push into France. So what I'm thinking about here is a little, not your typical play, but if he's got Asia scoring card and he kind of played it a little bit like he might early on, is we're just going to slam it all into South Korea. So we're going to slam into South Korea. We're going to give him Japan. If he's got the Asia scoring card, we're going to score. If he's got to do something else, like if he's just got a card he's got to get rid of, he's got blockade, and he's now like, got to get rid of blockade. The good news is we can take it next round, which could be huge. So we'll see what he's got. If he, wasn't able to get rid of something in his hand or held something, so perfect. Europe scoring is even there. But the great news is we get to take South Korea. So we're going to give up the coup. And we're going to take South Korea, which is huge. So I'll put us in pace to win Asia for the game, minus, some big events later like Usuri and things like that can turn the tide in Asia. But for right now, we're looking great in Asia. We're going to headline the Arab-Israeli war card because we're going to give up the coup. So this way it gives us some military ops. We also have the Indo-Pakistan war card, and we could throw it, but we have to roll a 6 in Pakistan. Since we're already we know we're going to have control of Asia, let's gamble and And Israel, they've got a roll. We can roll a 5 or 6, which is pretty key. So slightly better odds, But the big reason is military ops because he's going to coup. He's probably going to coup, either Cuba or um, Iraq. I'm assuming Iraq. But luckily, it's a 3, so it's pretty well protected. But he'll coup it mainly for the military ops. The other thing to note is we do have 5-year plan, so we can 5-year plan Middle East and not worry about it wholeheartedly. So plays Olympic Games, gets 2 free ops. Of course, we don't hit our roll, but we get the military ops, which is the main thing. And then all that talk about getting France, we immediately throw the 3 ops into South Korea, and the main reason is I didn't want to quite give up everything in Europe by playing Marshall Plan this early. By taking South Korea, there's still some other ways for us to get into France. 5-year plan. And I think ultimately trying to keep that China card in the situation right now is huge. Because we don't know where CIA is at, and that's our main protection against CIA. And we do have countries in the non-battlegrounds. So the big disappointment right now with our hands, the first 2 rounds, is no decall, no destall. So round 1, round 2, we don't have that. I seriously doubt he's going to play it for us. The good news is we have the China card, so he can't hold decall and destall both to round 3. So if he does have both of them, we're going to see one of them come back out. So we'll see here. Probably going to play Capture Nazi for the event to see if we can go ahead and get the victory points and see if we can go ahead and kind of start winning the tempo there on the space track. So once again, looking at our hand, play Nazi scientists for the event. We're going to hold Middle East and the 5-year plan together, so that way we don't necessarily have to worry about Middle East unless we win some of the tempo and we can score it. Right now it's even. So we'll have an option. So if we're winning and we can get some victory points there, we're definitely going to play it, whole 5-year plan for the next round. But we'll take that as we get there. We want to hold off on special relationships a little bit because we want to still have a chance to get into France. So we don't want to make anything too easy for them there. So, all right. So here he goes. He coups Iraq. He rolls a 4. Really he was just getting the event out of his hands, 1 op, getting the military ops. We'll still get 1 victory point because he didn't get to 2. But we're still in good shape there. Double check in. So go ahead and play the event. See what he does. So he plays NORAD, goes into Egypt, which is always a little risky. Nasser's still in the deck. Maybe he has it and is trying to get to Libya. We're going to kind of serve tempo. We're going to take 1 to Israel, overprotect, into Thailand. We have the China card still, but it kind of no use tempting fate there. Good thing too is he played NORAD for the ops. I hate when the opponent has NORAD all game, can't get rid of it. Can be huge. So But he played in round 2, so he's got a chance for it to come back out. All right. So, kind of giving him a choice here. Um, we know we're going to play Marshall Plan, so we know we're going to get the country count up in Europe. So, kind of the goal here is to hope to be able to take France and then, you know, kind of play Europe for even. Puts us a little risky, depending on what he can do later in the game. So, he might play the one op and then into France and then immediately go back into it. We can still play Marshall Plan into Saudi if we have to. We can still go the option of going Greece, Turkey. Trying to battle him for the battlegrounds if he does take France. So we're gonna kind of a lot depends on this move as far as direction of how we play Europe and how we play Middle East. So I think if we can, we want to play, Marshall Plan into France and give them the country count. That would be ideal. I think our option number 2 is to take Greece, Turkey, and then battle for the battlegrounds. And then option 3 is, we kind of take Saudi Arabia, and then at that point we're playing. In my opinion, it's the worst case because then you're giving up Europe and you're taking some of the Middle East, but you're not. You're basically still losing in 2 of the 3 early war countries. So, my preferred play would definitely be take France. So we'll see what he does here. So at that point, all right, does he? So he went to Canada, and he takes Liberia or Libya. All right, so we're gonna take Marshall Plan. We'll take it all into France, and maybe we'll throw one into Saudi Arabia, just kind of give us a shot there. Truman's already been played. Granted, it can come back out, so it hadn't been. It's not out of the deck, so you do have to worry about that. So once again, we're definitely at this point. We talked about having the option of not playing a 5-year plan, but at this point, it makes a whole lot of sense to go ahead and make sure we 5-year plan. So we play CIA, so it's back in the deck. We still have to worry about it, and we're gonna 5-year plan. It's always nice to be able to get out of a scoring card when the other person's going to score. So we'll take Saudi. We'll go ahead and protect India versus the war card. And there, discards Middle East. We'll catch 1 point for military ops too. Good news is he spaces it. So that means we get it back, hopefully, at some point. He wins his space race. All right. So all that work and trying to get rid of Middle East, we immediately get it back before we have a chance. But we do know he's got blockade. So we might try to Red Scare because, that's just one big event hanging over him. Hope he doesn't have defectors. We played it earlier in the game. So, has to be one of the cards gets re-rolled back in. Um, and he still has to choose it. So I like Red Scare here, especially because he's got blockade. Could be huge. And he does have defenders. Dag nabbit. All right. So looking at our cards, I really don't want to play duck and cover for the event, get 3 victory points. So I'm going to try to get rid of it somewhere, some way else. Let's see if we can coup. All right, and we just knock him out, so he gets throw influence back in it. But if we could take Israel, um, we can play Middle East for even. The other good thing is we also know he's got the Asia card. So all we've got to do is take one more country to make sure he doesn't get the all the other non-battlegrounds. So right now he would have to take Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and Taiwan to be able to make it even. So, we know he's got the Asia scorecard and blockade. Man, it would have been nice to call that Red Scare. So also another thing, if he does, let's say if he goes and starts trying to address the Asia issue immediately, we could slip in the Middle East real quick and be able to score it for even too. So that would be nice, and we'd like to space duck and cover as well. So obviously we can't play it because right now we DEFCON suicide, but that's kind of the goal versus holding it over to next hand. And then obviously we're really excited about D-Stall. Hadn't talked about it. Give us a chance to get to South America. So like slam a lot of it in South America at this point. Since D-Call got played, we can also hopefully get into Africa too. So pretty easy to get the influence out. So he plays to Gaul, which is nice. We're okay with getting the extra influence there. All right, he's kind of gobbling up some of the non-battlegrounds. So we'll play the Arab-Israeli war card into Israel. Um, um, get us 3-1, and then Formosan. And the problem we worry about Formosan is if we play Formosan right away, he slams 3 in there. So we'd like to hold off on that if we can. Some of our problem here is tempo. Because we know we're not going to play duck and cover. We know we're not playing D-Stall for ops. We're playing that for the event. So that leaves us 3 ops. Leaves us Formosan and Nasser. And he still has the Asia card. So we prefer him not to race Asia and get, and just consent. Since we don't have a whole lot of ops here, so, we know we need to get 2 more in Israel. But we can't give up what we've already done in Asia. Asia's going to score for 5, so we've got to make sure we push that agenda. So independent Reds. All right, so he's making his push into Asia. We're gonna play Formosan. Go ahead and throw it into Taiwan. Um, you know, he's got to go 5 ops to take it. Um, so we can still play Nasser for the event. Hopefully maybe that. We'll see what he does here. So even if he has a 4 ops card right now and decides to put all in Taiwan, at this point we'll play the China card. I mean, it's too important to give up. So we give up. Man, he does have a 4 op card. All right. So we got the China card. We're gonna play it. Got 1 extra op. Going to overprotect India. We worry about so we'll go ahead and probably go South Korea. Probably should really put in Israel, and then we could play Nasser for 1. That's probably would have been the play. But he's focused on Asia, so we're going to worry about it for a second. We still have to play Middle East. We still have duck and cover. We still have Nasser, so we definitely. Let's see. All right. Definitely should have put that 1 extra op in Israel, and we could play Nasser taking it, and then Middle East. So he plays Asia. We score for 5. And we're finally on the good red side. We could play Nasser, play it for the event. Hope he doesn't have enough to be able to kind of take it back. We could also play D-Stall and put 2 of our ops into Israel. Wait, no, that's not only 3. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it did there, but anyway, we'll just restart it. So we should have 4. So, all right, we're taking 4 out. Go in South America. We'll do the other 2 into Israel. So now we tied up in Middle East, and we hope that he doesn't realize it's such an atypical play that he should just throw 2 ops into one of those countries to try to get control. Because I mean, that didn't scream that we're about to score Middle East. I don't know, but hopefully we caught him with a 1 op card because he still does have blockade, and hopefully, hopefully that's what he's got. So hopefully we can get away with score Middle East for even, which would be for as far behind as we are. That would be nice. So there's blockade. So we're going to be able to score Middle East for even. Pulls out Suez. All right. Goes in Colombia, but we're able to score Middle East for even. So that's pretty huge. So Middle East, we're all, scored it twice now, even. We're way behind. We scored Europe early for even, and we scored Asia for 5. So pretty much a win-win there in the early war. We kept him from scoring into regions for positive. Basically, Asia was the only spot that scored positive for either person. Honest, maybe yeah. So that's a win. And does you an intervention? Okay. All right. So real quick, looking at our hand, uh, ABM Treaty, huge card to get, but we've got 5-year plan once again, which is nice. That means we can hold it and hopefully um, deal with it. We got duck and cover. I'm still the fan. If I can, I'd rather space it versus playing it to repair influence and things like that. And then we have Ask Not, which always can. We're going to most likely play it in this game because in this game, I'd like to keep 5-year plan, space duck and cover. So that basically means we're going to play Ask Not. And we've got kind of a bevy of other cards. I don't think Nasser's a must have to play. We could ABM Treaty go in coup. But we're going to play Culture Revolution, I think, for the headline here. So we get the China card, a little bit of a safety net. He plays into Poland. Europe is still out, so we do have to worry about it. So now the question is, do we coup and give him a chance to flip Poland, or do we go ahead and repair so we can repair Poland and try to protect Venezuela? Personally, I think that we can get away with cooing because of the tempo of him wanting to go into South America. So we've got ABM treaty, so maybe we can re-coup Venezuela after he takes it. So, for instance, we could coup Angola, and then we can play some influence into Brazil, and hopefully be able to kind of have tempo throughout the round to kind of throw some points to Poland and take it back. And then throw ABM treaty and be able to hopefully take Venezuela back. So that's kind of the game plan that I'm seeing. We do have to worry about Panama Canal, which could throw a little kink in it. We have Allen Day to help us take Chile, and then once again we need space, duck, cover. So I'll be back. There's somebody at the door. All right, back. There's the coup. We're successful moderately. So let's see. Does he throw in a big out card into Poland? One thing he's got to worry about though is Warsaw Pact is still in the deck, so I could theoretically take it back. All right. So once again, trying to see what he does. Um, I'm assuming he's going to go in Venezuela. We're going to take Brazil. Let's see how he does it. Our problem in this hand is we've got a bunch of one-off cards. Nasser, Panama Canal, Allen Day. We got a card we're not going to play, Duck and Cover. 5-year plan. We like to control how we play that card. Um, and Ask Not, which is kind of a card that you hope to wait to close to the end of the round. Um, so we'll see what happens here. Um, so everything's open except for Middle East and Asia, the two places that haven't been scored. Um, we would like to be able to go ahead and get Zaire to kind of protect Angola. A little bit of a tempo thing. Plays. Interesting. I guess he's worried about us scoring Africa, so he goes ahead and throws one into just to get a country count in Africa. Um, so we're gonna go in Brazil. Still worried about Poland. Throw one each. Hopefully he doesn't have a whole lot of op space off the way he played that hand and kind of can still try to attempt to coup it. But plus we also have Panama Canal, so um, probably still should have went ahead and just bit the bullet and went ahead and took Venezuela. If I had to do that again immediately, I think that's what I would do. But well. But it makes it less likely he just slams the card, take Poland, which is still very important. We don't want to lose too much tempo in Europe. Um, no, so there he had a big 4-op card, and he takes it. All right. All right. We're going to go ahead and take Poland. So ideally, we still have avium treaty, so we can still go into Venezuela. Um, all right, we're going to play Nasser into Zaire to kind of protect against realignment that could or could not happen possibly in Angola. So we kind of protect it. So if he did try to realign right now, I'm at a +1. And then hopefully at some point we can get into Botswana and Kuwait. It's kind of a weird hand, like I said before, because you got some of these cards you want to wait to the end to play. A card you definitely don't want to play. So it's kind of a little tricky. So this plays Cambridge. Oh, Snowy directly is threatening to go in Algeria, which is one of the more stable cards. We're going to go ahead and bite the bullet. Play Ask Not. So he's going to be able to discard some cards. Maybe it's not as... Do what you got to do. I'm going to throw one in South Africa as well. So maybe kind of threaten a little bit there. We have a chance to hopefully take it if he doesn't really respond in kind. We might be able to sneak in with 5-year plan or, you know, at the end of the round. All right. So let's see what he discards. Hopefully, you don't see like a ton of awesome stuff like Long Gunman, Muslim Revolution, Shay, all that kind of good stuff. So luckily, he didn't really discard anything. He discarded a little like Summit and Sadat. So I think now tempo wise is probably when we try to go ahead and space duck and cover. So he plays nuclear subs for 2 ops, goes into South America or South Africa. Go in space. Successful, nice. So now we can actually coup our space 2 cards. Um, ooh. All right. So he goes down into Argentina and he's trying to realign us out of Cuba, and he does. All right. So we're going to change our plan. We were going to coup Venezuela. Now we're going to coup Argentina. And we're successful. So that's nice. At this point, we'll probably play Island Day to take Chile, keep 5-year plan for, potential to get rid of a card next hand. We do have to start worrying about, you know, catching it in a hand where if we catch like grain cells and CIA at the same time or something. But, I think it's worth the risk. Ooh, salt negotiations. And he plays ABM treaty as his last play. All right. I forgot I played the China card, so I've got to keep 2. All right. So it's at 5. He's going to use ABM treaty, I'm guessing. So he's going to definitely get a coup something, I would think. But we're kind of a little volatile countries. He's definitely we're more vulnerable, I think. South America, Africa. We've got Europe, so hopefully nothing crazy happens in Europe. He could coup there. I don't see him coup anything. I can definitely see him trying to coup Thailand. Uh, but maybe he tries to play something else, so maybe we try to go ahead and drop DEFCON down first. That maybe he's thinking that we would coup. He'd still have a chance to coup into Asia. Italy's pretty protected. As far as cards, nothing really that much to worry. We got Voice of America, um, which we can go ahead and space. Um, and then OAS found will probably play 5-year plan with it. And then, it gives them two, you have three, so you can kind of protect, with 5-year plan with that card. It's probably how we'll play that. Europe's even, so depending unless he does something drastic here, because it's going to be at 5. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking headline. We'll play How I Learned to Stop Worrying. We'll drop the DEF CON, and then based off of what he does, we can drop it down to 3. Still give us a chance to coup something, but we're going to have military ops regardless. So there's ABM. We'll see what he coups. And he goes for rear alignments. All right, so we held strong. Wow, knocked us out of France. Oh, Italy. Wow, knocked us out of Italy. Or he's got one more. We knock him out there. That's an interesting choice. We have to deal with France. So we're gonna knock it to 2. Play Cuban Missile Crisis, repair. And it looks like he takes it to flip Israel. And I'll say this: you don't once somebody typically has Israel, you typically don't see them flip it. It get flipped minus if not counting the war card. But even then, it's pretty rare because the U.S. takes it. They usually have, some of the surrounding countries. So interesting. I mean, that's a big play. Really, pretty impressive. We have OPEC. Doesn't have a lot of bite to it right now. I think right now we'd score for 2 victory points. So we'd probably play it for ops. We got Island Day. We can still take, Chile with it. Ideally, we'd like to take Chile, and then we'd also like to coup Colombia and then be able to realign Venezuela. That's the ideal plan. All right. So we get a victory point. And we're not going to fight them for Israel. Go ahead and score Europe, get it out of the way. We scored for 1. The good news is we've pushed our victory point to 10. So now we're starting to get to a point where, he's got to be worried about victory points. So we have been able to chip a dime, and keep him from scoring some cheap ones. All right. So he's moving on. We're gonna go ahead and space Voice of America. The tempo wise, I went ahead and scored Europe. I went ahead and scored Voice of America. Space Voice of America is, he's grabbing the loose change, and you can see him. He's grabbing Israel from his play before. Oh no, brush war. Nice. All right, we'll go ahead and take Island Day, take it back. But we are very tentative in South America. That was a big rush war. So hopefully he doesn't take Uruguay, and we can take Uruguay. Uruguay is going to be key here. So if we can take Uruguay, we can hopefully realign him out of Argentina. And then once we realign him out of Argentina, we kind of regroup, and then hopefully we'll have a chance at some point to be able to realign him out of Venezuela. But if he goes the other way, so he takes Uruguay, now he can realign me out of Brazil. And it's so we're gonna try to coup him out here. Big 4-op card, we roll a 2. Um, a 4, 5, or 6 gives us control or more of it. So just a little unlucky. A little unlucky, but could be worse. So all right. All right. So he takes Uruguay again. He's definitely in great position in Central America. There's nothing really we can do about it. So we coup again. The 5 or 6 would have given us control. Um, so we'll see. So these are the 3. This is a dilemma. We can play 5-year plan for 4 ops, turn an OSA founded into 4 ops. But it's kind of weird because then you end up repairing, and then you're kind of doing something. We might just go ahead and space it, see if we can get the victory points since we're in a rare situation where we don't ever get to space it. Keep 5-year plan in our hand for next hand, hoping that we can, use it to be able to get rid of something nice. All right. And we did. We got the 2 victory points. And then we just hope he doesn't take a buck card and try to realign us out. So tempo wise, we can. Oh, nice. So he's got Southeast Asia. We score it for a couple victory points. Hour 13. Really start the pressure. So this sucks. So we've got 5-year plan, grain sale, CIA, Yasuri, NORAD, Alliance for Progress, and Special Relations. The big problem is grain sale, CIA, 5-year plan. We do have the China card, thank God. So, but we're going to have to most likely hope that we can play CIA and round 1. And then we can hopefully space grain sales. Hopefully he won't space something. We space something twice. My second choice would probably be Surrey because Asia's, one of the few spots where we're really ahead. So we want to maintain that. Muslim Revolution, in an ideal world, we'd like to be able to, throw some ops into some of the Muslim, into Iran, for example, and be able to flip it. But we're going to headline, but we don't want to start off that way because he can just repair it. So what we're going to do, I guess we could, but we're going to headline socialist government and then give us a chance to gives us a chance to kind of scare a little bit in Asia. I mean, in Europe, just to make it a little, so to speak. We're going to play CIA. He's going to see our hand, which hopefully he's got a crappy hand. But he should definitely push this hand, looking at our hand, knowing we're definitely going to have to space. and then hopefully space twice, or he's going to be smart enough to space something pretty quick to keep our second space from happening. Um, but this hand, this is kind of one of those hands you can get sometimes that can flip the game the other way, and not in a good way. Um, we do have the China card, so we're going to be able to keep 2 cards. Really don't want to play NORAD, so he rolls a 6 with 1 op. Um, let's see what do we need to do with that. So I just had a brain fart. For some reason, I was thinking that was a headline phase. I didn't immediately get to play special relationships. They're one in Nigeria, one in France to protect. I'm an idiot. I should probably have gone Western Germany just to make him go ahead and press, throw some ops into West Germany to take it back. So really kind of plus it gave access, where we've kind of been on this even tilt in Africa where he has, he's got 2, I've got 2. We're kind of playing back and forth. So puts us way behind. We got to go ahead and space. Go ahead and do it quick. Hey, we won. That's always a plus. So hopefully you can get 3 extra ops while rolling something else. So maybe he can, I don't know if he'll space right away or if he'll start attacking. But, we also have we'd like to space Yusuri. We're going to probably have to play Alliance, and then we'll kind of keep NORAD 5-year plan, and then play the other cards. The problem, I like to place influence into a country before I use Muslim Revolution to flip it. So he plays Che. Interesting. So we're going to Colombia. It'll give us a chance to possibly realign and go down to, could go to Uruguay. We could also go to Botswana. It's probably the better play, I think, because we're kind of now we're in a situation where we're protecting a little bit, and we can actually realign versus the other way around. So we're going to use Alliance for progress. See if we can win Venezuela. Hopefully we'll have 1 extra to try to go into South Africa. But the good news is we take Venezuela back. So we go from looking like we're about to get knocked out in South America to having a shot there. So that's huge. Huge. So he coups Columbia back, which we've already done the realignment damage, so it's not that bad. We're going to go ahead and get our space in while we can. We failed, but the key thing is we got it in tempo, which is huge. So now I'm going to probably play the China card, keep 5-year plan, NORAD. So that gives us special relationships, Muslim Revolution, and China card. So we have 10 ops to play with here. Granted, some of those ops have to go back into France to protect it. So it looks like we are through the thick of this hand, and the best part about it is we've actually gained some ground. Um, Interesting. So he plays Quagmire, and in Central America, we're definitely screwed there if he plays there. But I mean, we've got two ops here. We can go back to back, so we can flip something. So it's do we go ahead and try to flip South Africa, or do we go ahead and flip something in South America where we can have it for control? It hasn't scored yet, so um, Asia we're fine. We could throw some influence and do try to even up Middle East, but I think we still have some things that can happen in the late war there. So I think we're gonna we're gonna slam it all into Argentina and see if we can take control of South America. Hopefully he misses here would be advantageous. So obviously, I don't know. So there's liberation theology. We had hoped to use Muslim revolution into the Middle East to flip a country, but flipping Argentina, taking control of a region, I mean, couldn't ask for more. Probably that extra one we probably shouldn't put in France. Uh, so that way we can play special relationships to try to realign out of South America. South Africa. Realign out of South Africa. So now we're gonna have to play special relationships, kind of as a triggered event, put it all back there. But we did protect ourselves in South America versus like a Voice of America or something to that effect, where suddenly he knocks you out of that whole side. We're gonna force him to throw both of his influence into South America, South Africa. I keep going to call him South Africa, South America. Um, so it's kind of an even play there. Just to make sure, we assume he's going to go into France. We'll make him. All right. So for a hand that looked pretty disastrous, we've improved our situation in South America. We're okay in Africa for the moment, where we have a chance to um, realign out of South Africa. Uh, nice. All right. So we have Central America, which sucks because he scores that for a ton. But NORAD, East European Unrest, Camp David, Portuguese, Indo-Pakistan, puppet governments, kitchen debates. Now the good news is that he's got South America scoring and Africa scoring. Um, so we're gonna hold a 5-year plan for Central America. I mean, we've held that card all game, almost to disaster for an event just like this. Um, so that means we can't. So colonial rear guards. Mm. So we're gonna throw a. I think we're gonna headline Indo-Pakistan War just for the Hail Mary chance of flipping Pakistan. That way, because with colonial rear guard, he's got the China card. everything's up for grabs. We don't want them to flip Asia. Um, and it's important that we have the, we don't want to let them queue. We don't let them have a chance to be able to mess up South America as well. So, we'd like to be able to have an opportunity here possibly to kind of. All right. So let's see how he plays the rear guards. Will kind of tell us a lot about his hand. Oh, Central America for 8. We're still waiting on him. See how he plays this. We know he's at least going to throw one in the Thailand. You have to. I'm assuming he's going to throw one in Angola, probably Algeria. Huh. So, wow, and we win the Hail Mary. So we can actually let him flip Thailand and still have Asia. Um, the big thing here is, we need a coup Africa. We need a coup for 2 reasons: to keep South America, because we know he has South America, and to have a shot here. So we're gonna coup Zaire. We're gonna gamble a little bit. We roll 5. We take it. It's probably the stupid play, but it worked out. Probably should have definitely gone after Nigeria. We give up a victory point, but now we kind of protect a little bit in Africa. So Africa's even. We know he has that scoring card, and he can't easily realign us. And hopefully, what we'd like to do is be able to get in a situation where we can realign him out of South Africa. Um, Surprised he threw the one extra either in Angola or instead of Algeria. I would have, because he could have potentially then flipped Algeria if we could. So, one thing to note: if he does, to me, he might go ahead and flip Thailand. That might be what he does here. It's what I kind of expect him to do. But he's got South America and he's got Africa. We've got South America for 8. So that puts us at 19. And we've got military ops. So technically, we're in a winning situation. So he goes and flips it. So the thing that we can't do is let him take Cambodia, because then he's at least flips the country count and he's good there. So we're going to go ahead and play NORAD, because I think we can win this round. So I'm not going to worry too much about giving him that event. Which would, if we don't win this round, it's could potentially be the reason why we lose, is that. But so basically, we take Cambodia, we overprotect. He just can't slam a card in and take anything in Asia. So if he does have the Asia card, we're good. And he kind of played it like he might, because I think the play might have been to really try to take Africa here, because of how tentative it is. But we don't have Angola or Zaire protected, so if he's got 3-up card, he can take either one of those right away. And really, the only card we've got, really East European Unrest, is really the only major card we have that can kind of, 3-ops or better, so to speak, without not counting 5-year plan, because we have to save that for Central America at the end. So just in case he is able to kind of wiggle out of this. Um, Bear trap. All right. Mm, we're gonna keep that just because we need the ops, I think, and we can actually. Nice. That's pretty big to be able to go ahead and get out of the bear trap. Um, so he kind of gambled, thinking if he could catch us in a bear trap, he could flip something. He could have used bear trap to go ahead and flip Zaire or Angola, and then conversely, I could have just flipped it back. But you don't know what the other person's holding. So we still in a situation where we really like to do a realignment in South Africa because if we can win it right out, we've got enough ops in South Africa to be able to take that country. Uh, we'll just have to see. So we got all the stuff we need to do. But so does he. A lot of stuff we really like to do. Really like to protect Angola, Zaire, and realign in South Africa. Um, we also like to protect a little bit in South America. He hasn't even touched it, which is kind of surprising because that's it's. All right, so he knocks us out of Botswana, or knocks a little bit of influence out of Botswana. We're going through kitchen debates, just protected. Um, Kind of tempo wise, we're not gaining the tempo. He still has the tempo, but he's running out of time. We know he has at least two scoring cards, um, and three plays, so 4 or 5. I guess 4 plays. I've got 3 plays. He's got 4 plays. We'll find out quick about the whether or not he redrew Asia. Uh, so he's successful in Botswana. There's right to coup it back. Mm. Well, might not be the worst thing just because of tempo. So if he puts influence back into Botswana, he's got 2 plays. They're both scorecards, so he doesn't have time to realign us out. So it's not the worst thing ever. Basically, what we were able to do is at least keep him from um, double checking on the scoring cards. Yep. So yeah, he definitely has South America and Africa. He should know that I have Central America. What he might not know is I have 5 year plan. So he goes in and plays Africa. We catch it for 1 point. So here's the key thing. He's got 2 plays. So he's got 1 play, and then he's got to score South America. We're gonna, which right now we're scoring it for 8. We're definitely not gonna score Central America. We're not playing that card. That is for sure. So here's Portuguese. So let's see what he does here. So we kind of overprotect just to make it a little tough for him here. Now the other thing we could do also, let's say he doesn't. Let's say we didn't have 5 year plan, and he didn't play um, South America next hand. We know he has to play it. JFK is already out of the deck. There's no other way for him to get rid of the card. We technically could not play Central America, knowing he was going to play his card for 8 to win first. So we technically could have played if we didn't have 5-year plan. We just don't play Central America, knowing he's going to score South America for 8. Um, but since we have it and we kept it for half the game just to be able to make that one play. Um, we kind of threw it in Poland just in case. Doesn't really matter. Uh, but that should be game. Um, yep, there's South America scoring. So we'll win. Action round 7, victory points. Um, Definitely a good game. Um, Played great. Just the South America flip, that was kind of the difference in the game. We lost Middle East for the whole game, but he never was able to score Middle East. We played Europe for even. We kept it that way. We kept our advantage in Asia. It only scored once, but we scored it for 5. Um, and we were able to keep Central America out of the deck late. When that was a region he zeroed in all. Realigned us out of Cuba. We weren't able to get back in there. So let know that we're gonna put this up on Reddit and YouTube. So fantastic game. Um, so really, could have gone either way. But what I felt like, we picked up points here and there with military ops and special events, and we limited his chances to pick up points here and there. So we didn't spectacular dominate. Really, you look at the board, we're not really dominating. You're looking at the board, Central America, South America kind of even itself out. Africa and Europe are even. We're winning Asia, but not by much. And then he's winning the Middle East. So the board's pretty even. He kept it even. We were able to win the victory points. And sometimes that's the way it goes. And sometimes you can be on the back end of that where you're looking at the board and you're dominating. Suddenly you didn't pick up any victory points. So shout out to JessupY on Reddit, which is Ibara in this game. Thank you for the game, and look forward to playing again. Well played, and just the little breaks broke my way this game. All right, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.